Microcampus is a hands-on 28-day trip led by Mr. Taffel and Miss Mai. During Microcampus, you travel to a village in the Yunnan province and stay at a center for 1 month. I came to Xizhou because I wanted to get away from the Shanghai bubble and experience a new culture and get familiar with other places in China. Before coming to Xizhou, we were meant to choose a topic of high interest that we would like to investigate for the next month. I decided to choose is myths, stories, and legends in Xizhou. I chose this topic because it seemed very interesting and I thought it could help me understand the culture in Xizhou a bit better. In order to understand my journey of discovering the myths, stories, and legends in Xizhou, one must consider what I knew before coming to Xizhou, what I learned after being in Xizhou for a couple of weeks, and what I found to be my favorite story in Xizhou. Before coming to Xizhou, I thought the stories would all relate to animals, especially the 12 zodiac animals because those were the only stories I used to learn when I first came to Shanghai. After being in Xizhou for 1 to 2 weeks, I started to understand that what I expected the stories to be like were nothing like the stories I heard. Yes, of course there were some similarities with what I thought they would be like and what I thought they were, but there was not many similarities. The stories here seemed to have another story behind the story that was just told to me. I felt like some stories actually related to history or a big event that happened to the person that created the story. Part of me also felt like some stories were just masks hiding history and what they thought should be good or bad. After these first couple weeks, I sat down to think about what story I liked the most that was told to me. After a long hard thinking, I chose a story that was told to me by Mr. Du, the antique shop owner. Once upon a time, there lived 2 dragons. One dragon was yellow and one dragon was black. The yellow dragon lived high up in the mountains, inside his temple. It was said that the yellow dragon was able to control the weather. It did not usually rain there in the village by our high lake, but when it did, the rain would be very brutal and cause floods that could damage houses and take away children. When the yellow dragon came down from the mountain, it would steal food from the villages. This caused the villagers to always be hungry, and they were not very healthy. One day, a black dragon appeared. He got in a fight with the yellow dragon. He told the yellow dragon, "If I can get the villagers to give me food and not you, then I win. You will go back to your temple, and you will not cause any more floods or anything that can damage the people in the village." The only way the black dragon could get fed was if the people say, "Hey long chi." The people started to gather their food while the 2 dragons were fighting. Then they started to scream, "Hey long chi," and the black dragon had won. The yellow dragon ran away into the mountains, but he left a giant hole in the rocks, which explains the indents in the mountains near the lake. The moral of the story is to be brave and don't be afraid to stick up for yourself or even others. After talking to Mr. Du for a while, I had learned that the black dragon represents the everyday people and the yellow dragon represents the emperor. This story has impacted my life in Xizhou a little bit. I feel like whoever made the story probably did not like the emperor, or the story was made during a rough time period. Microcampus has been a great trip, and not only did we learn about Xizhou, but we also learned a lot about ourselves. I have now shared what I thought the stories were, what I learned they were in my early days, and I have shared my favorite story in Xizhou. Microcampus has been a great experience, and it has taught me many valuable lessons. I would like to thank Mr. Taffel, Miss Mai, the Microcampus students, and everyone in Xizhou. Thank you for the great experience. I will always remember Microcampus.